This is Building a Blog with Rails 5 and Bootstrap 4, Part 13. We left off in the last episode working on the account page for our author, or authors, depending on how you set yours up. In this episode, we're going to finish that and then add a couple of new small features to our blog page using the extra information from the author that we have now. Alright, so let's dive in. So, if we go back to our code and let's open up our accounts controller, which we had yesterday, this is where we left off. So we've done a nice job of handling what happens when everything goes right. When we update the author's basic information, it works fine. When we update their password, it works fine, as long as you put the right information in. But we have to think about what can go wrong. So, for example, the email has to be formatted correctly. That's something that Devise does by default, meaning it has a validation built in by default. We might want to say that when you update your account, we need your name. I don't think we ask for it on sign up. But we might want to say that it's required on update. And the bio, I don't know, we can leave that one alone for now. Let's see what could go wrong with changing your password. Original password is wrong. We could say password or confirmation are blank. Password or confirmation don't match. That's a pretty good coverage of the probably most typical things that will go wrong. So let's start at the top and let's just go through these and let's just see what happens. So I need to open up my edit form for the account. So one thing we're gonna run into immediately is this email field is a little bit too smart for us right now. So we're gonna put it back, but for the moment we need to just see that the email is a text field, and I'll show you why. So we want to see what happens when this fails. So text field works just fine. If this is an email field and we enter something wrong, when I click update, the HTML input will actually throw an error and say, hey, you can't do that. And we want to see what happens on the back end. So we need to enter in something wrong right now and not have the form scream at us. So if I click update, it just doesn't do anything. And why is that? Well, Devise already knows what should go wrong, or it already knows what the correct formatting is, and it already has a validation built in for that. And you can look here in our update request, so put author's info, that's our update, and it tries to save it in the SQL and then it rolls back, and it's not really telling us much about why. If you throw an exclamation point on update, it will give you some more information. So if I come back over here and I just try that again, it's actually going to throw an error and it's going to say email is invalid. And that's Devise telling you that basically it's validating things and you did it wrong. So what can we do? So what we're going to do here is say if current author.update, then we just want to do this else flash warning equals hey there. Let's start with this so you can see how it works. And then we'll also redirect to the same place, and I'm not going to copy that. So now we have an empty. Let's put a flash success. Success. we may take that away. I don't really know about that. Okay, so then let's just up here, let's say put a paragraph tag. Actually, let's do this. Let's put a binding.pry right here. So no matter what happens, we're going to have a success or a warning message. So let's try this again. Oh, I guess that's not true. When you reload the page, you're not going to have a warning message. Okay, so now I should have, if I just type flash in binding, so looks like we have flash.flashes. Nope. There's an instance variable flashes. So how can I say flashes? Maybe I can say flashes.any. No. Flash.any. Okay, cool. So that's kind of a smart method that they have in there on their part. And then flash warning should tell me I need to spell warning correctly. It should tell me my warning message. Let's see. I want to know how to, so flash.public methods .sort. There's a bunch of stuff in there that's probably not related. Let's see. Let's see what's defined directly on the object. So if I do public methods false, okay. So flash dot. Let's just go through these a little bit. So flash to hash. What does that do? Okay. Flash keys. Okay, I have a warning. Okay, this is interesting. So what I want to do back in the code now is I want to say if flash.any. So you can tell that the flash is basically a place from the controller where we can store messages that we want to render in the view. It's essentially what we're doing here. So so what I was doing here, in case it's not clear, is just exploring what's possible. And I think I'm done. I don't need to keep that pry open. Okay, so flash.any tells me if I have any flashes, and then we'll say flash.keys.each do key. So I want to iterate through each key of the flash. And we will just print out flash key like that. Alright, so let's see what happens here. If I just refresh, shouldn't be anything. If I try to update, I get hey there. And if I try to make this like something other than that, it's going to tell me success and success. Okay, cool. So now we have some messages. So the first thing I want to do is make this not ugly. So v4 Bootstrap. Bootstrap has a built-in alert. Yeah, the first thing here. And so what we're going to do is just copy this right there, and we'll jump back to the code, and we want to replace our paragraph tag. So the reason I named those success and warning was specifically because of Bootstrap. So right here I can do key to S which is toString, because I believe it's a symbol otherwise. And then we're going to want this flash key. Just put that there. And let's see. So those don't have a close option. I feel like some of them, yes, that is what I want. So I want that. Put that just inside there. And it looks like we need, what does that do? Okay, yeah. I need to add those classes to my alert. Okay, so let's try this now. So if we're making that an I, that is weird. Inspect that. So it is right there. Okay. So maybe I don't need I don't know if I need those extra classes. I'm gonna try this again. Okay, so to be honest, I'm not sure what those do, so I'm just gonna take them away. Because that does exactly what I need it to do, and that is the end of the story. Okay, so if I just put ASDF and I'm not trying to look it up in the dictionary. Okay, so now we get the warning. And let's make that, so Bootstrap has some different classes you can use. And the nice thing, by the way, of this setup is I can come in and just say danger here. And if I try to make that ASDF now, then it turns red. So you can kind of fiddle with the different warnings and so on and so forth, and we have this nicely set up. And really, we can extract this into, code for this into like a little helper or something, not really helper, more of a partial, and include it across the site at the top, and then no matter where you are, you get the appropriate messaging. And we may do that later. For now, the main thing I want to do is flesh these out. Select successfully updated, successfully saved info. Just a quick point. Programmers use words like create and update and delete. Users use slight variations on those. So listen to your users, and I've noticed a lot of people will say saved when they want to say update. So anyway, for what it's worth. So let's do one more thing. So let me take that away, put that back, and let's throw pry in here. Okay, so refresh this page, try this again, just make it blank. Now we should be stuck right here. So there's when something goes wrong with an object, particularly an active record object like your author, errors get attached to it. So I can do current author.errors, and you can see that there's this set of errors, and you see what it is down here in the details and messages. So if I say current author.errors, and you can go through the process of finding these methods if you'd like, but I believe we can say full messages, and it gives me the messages in an array. So what I'm going to do is say .join and that's going to give me them in a sentence. So the reason I'm doing this is because if you have several errors, you want to put them all together in basically a sentence. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to put the errors in the danger message here. So for successfully saved, we don't really need to do anything fancy. We're just telling people we saved their info. For the error situation, we need to tell them what went wrong. So let's go try this out. I'm still stuck in the pry, I believe. Okay. So let me make this blank. Email can't be blank. Email is invalid. Okay, so that's cool. The second thing we wanted to do is in our author, we want to say validates presence of name, but we don't want to do that all the time. We just want to do it after the user is created. That way nothing gets screwed up when somebody's trying to sign up with just their email. I'm a big fan of not asking for too much information up front. Okay, so if we come in here and take this away now, name can't be blank. Okay, and let's try one more thing. So if I do that and I do that, what is it going to do? Email can't be blank, name can't be blank. Perfect. Okay, so let's go and let's check on where we are at in our stuff here. So this works fine, this works fine. So we're good on that one. Let's deal with the password situation. So right here we have an if, right? And then we have the space for an else. So an else, so we'll say flash danger equals, in this case, I don't think we're getting an error because we're just checking if the password is correct or not. So we'll say current password was incorrect. Okay, so if I come back over here and I just type like potato, which I don't even know if I spelled potato correctly. Anyway, it's going to tell me current password is incorrect. Cool. So the password being wrong, taken care of. You have to be careful how much information you give people. But since the person's already logged in, I'm going to just assume to some extent, you can't assume that it's the right person, can't assume anything really, but I don't feel too bad about just saying, hey, that password was wrong. Depends on what kind of site it is, I guess. For a blog like this, I don't know. Anyway, that's a different kind of discussion. So now inside of here, we want to say if current author.update, we can then say else, and that multi-line update is throwing me off a little bit right here. So if current author.update flash success equals successfully changed password. Okay, else, let's say flash danger, and let's go ahead and grab our, grab this. And I'm missing an equal sign. Alright, so that was a lot of shooting from the hip here. Let's see what happens. So if I try to change password, leave it blank. Okay, so I believe it was password 2. Okay, yeah. So now I'm getting, this is kind of an interesting problem here, and I don't know if I'm going to really solve it at the moment, but if I want to make my password, see it succeed first, you need to sign in or sign up for continuing. That was weird. Alright, so I'm going to be locked out now. That's funny. Okay, and you can see the message showing up there because we had we were rendering the flash messages, and it was showing up double because of what we have in our layout file, I think. Yeah, so if notice or alert, render notice alert. So we can take that away. Possibly, maybe what we ought to do is back here. I didn't mean to go all the way down like that. Sorry for the side step here. I just got annoyed by that. Let's see if we can fix that. So if we put it directly inside the container like this, it'll be formatted nicely. And let's go back and save everything and then make sure that our original stuff still works. So if I take this and update, email can't be blank. Perfect. So everything is still there. I think I may have gotten, let's see here, password can't be blank. Let me refresh this page. Okay, password 2, password 2. Let's go check our console and see what the heck is happening here. It's telling me I am unauthorized, and it looks like it may be logging me out. This was not happening before. That's really strange. Let's check our controller. And let's check. What about our author controller? What's happening here? Authenticate author. That's weird. Okay, so I'm going to try a couple of things here. First of all, I'm going to do author equals current author, because for some reason we're getting signed out, and I want to make sure that I still have a hold of that object. Author, I don't see any other ones in there. Then I'm going to try to do sign in author bypass true, and I found this from a little bit of Googling. It seems like when you update the password, the device will automatically sign them out, and I just want to sign them back in and continue like we were doing. So let's see if this works. No, because I think it's changing my password and then logging me out. Okay, so let's refresh this. So it's password 2, and I just want to make it password. Perfect. So it looks like that solved my problem. Okay, so that's a little bit strange, but that does the trick. So let's check these. So we know that this one, if we do that and then we just leave them blank, password can't be blank, and then if I do password, and then let's do just some stuff that doesn't match. Password confirmation doesn't match password. So we've covered all of our cases. That's great. Let's just save that, and we can say, okay, check. So we have all of the functionality that we wanted, but this code is really ugly. So I'm gonna start by doing one thing. So this is a lot of stuff chained together, and I'm not gonna really mess with it except for I want to put it on the author model. Actually, this inherits from application record, and that's sort of universal. So let's open up application record. So let's say display error messages. So this, anything that inherits from application record will have this available. And I'm just gonna say display error messages, and then we'll say if errors.any, and that's only gonna be that, so like that. And that's a little, no, I think that's good. So that, let's give this a shot. And let's put this here as well. Well, we can just get that. Okay. Okay, still works just fine on that side. Still works fine on that side. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to jump over to my author model, and some of this something like this may already exist in Devise, so if you're curious, go check out there, but I'm just going to write a little change password method, and we're going to call this attributes, and then we will get, we'll just say update password confirmation, and then I'm going to say attributes new password here, and then attributes new password confirmation, and I'm going to shorten this to just adders because that takes up a little more space than I would like. So now I have a change password method which does what this does, and it takes my author password param, so I can say change password author password params, and let's give this a shot. Password, let's just say password 3, change my password 3, get my errors, perfect. At this point, if this were a real project, I would probably work on some ways to start dealing with all these nested ifs and elses. I'm not a big fan of that at all, but for the moment this works, and this episode is going to get long if I keep sitting here and refactoring this over and over and over. So for now, let's just move on. The last thing that I want to do is hook up the author's Gravatar if they have one. So if you're not familiar with Gravatar, you can sign up at en.gravatar.com. You just click create your own Gravatar and follow through all the instructions. I am not going to show you how to do that because you can do that on your own. It's pretty easy. Don't need that, and I don't need that. But let's set that up. So if you look at this page, which I just found by searching for Gravatar Ruby, Gravatar tells you how essentially to get a image address. So essentially what Gravatar is just an image repository. You can add an image, and then you can have a URL to an image, and it's basically that simple. And we're going to do this here because I don't want to go through all of the process of image uploading at the moment. We'll do that later, but right now this is a simple way that we can just start getting people to have some images. But I'm going to walk through these steps with you just to show you there's no magic here. So it was, let's see what it was, required digest MD5. So if you type IRB, you get to the interactive Ruby prompt. And it was MD5/digest. I think I did that backwards. Yep. Digest MD5. Okay. Then we just need an email, which I'm going to have. I mean, this is stupidly simple. So, so basically, if we take an email and put it in there, it gives us a hash key. Actually, let me just copy this, and it gives you a link to an image. So if we Google this, that's my avatar. Okay, so simple, simple, simple. So let's go back to our author model, and I'm gonna define a method called Gravatar image. And I don't believe we need to require MD5 in Rails, because Rails automatically includes a bunch of extra stuff that regular, just when you log into a Ruby session, it doesn't. So we don't need all of that. Actually, what we can do is copy this and put that there. And then I'm going to write a little private method, Gravatar hash, maybe like that. And then we can say Gravatar hash. And then right here we will just say, I think I need that, digest MD5 hex digest. And then we'll say email address dot down case. And that needs to be, I like to actually call things what they are, so that's image URL. Okay, so quit Rails C. And then we'll do author equals author.first. And we'll say author.gravatar image URL. Undefined local variable method email address. That's because it is email. You can reload. Try that again. Need to find my author again. And there's my Gravatar image URL. And let me copy this and paste it back here. Okay, I don't need to paste it with quotes around it. And there I am. Okay, so what can we do with this? So to start, let's open up our edit page again. Not that one. Accounts edit. In the basic info, let's start by doing, let's just throw a list group item. We'll do an image tag, and we'll say current author Gravatar image URL. And let's see what that looks like. So there I am. And if I change my email, I get a blank avatar. Pretty cool. So we'll just maybe leave that there. And I have, let's see, I've got a short amount of things that I need to do for styling, but I don't know if I'm going to do it this time. What do you think? Actually, I think that's all the time that I've got for today. So I hope that you enjoyed this. In the next one, I guess I will do a short episode on the adding some extra author information to our posts. Meaning, so when you're on here, I want to have kind of a box at the bottom that gives you information about the author, their photo, their bio, that sort of thing. It'll be really simple, shouldn't take long. And then in the episode after that, we're going to go ahead and deploy this to Heroku and try to solve some problems there, because I've gotten some emails and messages saying that people have had a hard time deploying some of the text editor stuff in the post page. Anyway, I think that's it, and I will talk to you next time.